Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Choose UCalgary podcast, your go-to spot for learning about admissions, programs, campus life, and everything else in between here at the University of Calgary. My name is Max Sturley. I'm your host once again for today, and I'm a digital recruiter and advisor here at the university's enrollment services, where I focus on prospective undergrad students. In this episode, I sat down with Dr. Ellen Perrault, who works in UCalgary's Faculty of Social Work. Ellen shared some time to go into depth on the faculty's admissions process, the crux class that is Social Work 201, and some of the unique opportunities that go along within the faculty. Without further ado, here's the episode. So Ellen, thank you for coming in today. Again, really appreciate your time. So before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff about the admissions and the faculty and everything that is offered through the Bachelor of Social Work option here at the university, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role looks like as the Vice Dean in the faculty?
Well, I have the honor of covering for the Dean while he's away, and he's away today and this week. So I'm taking care of operations, faculty and staff, and making sure students are really having a high-quality learning experience, because we really care that students have a great experience with us.
In addition to your role as Vice Dean, you also teach at the Faculty of Social Work. So what kind of courses do you focus on in addition to your other responsibilities?
Yeah, I'm teaching the online introduction to social work in the winter term, and I also teach in our leadership courses for our Leadership in Human Services master's program. I've coordinated and taught in our entirely online BSW program. And by the way, our online BSW program is a terrific way for students to take a bachelor's degree, continue working, and complete their social work degree. It's only got 2 face-to-face courses, which are 5-day intensive face-to-face weeks that you come in once for each of the 2 years.
Absolutely, and we will certainly, for those listening, get into the admission routes for the Faculty of Social Work. There's 2 of them, and we will get right into them in just a moment. Want to learn a little bit more about you, just so our listeners have a better scope of your role and where your interests lie. And some of those interests you've mentioned to me include adult education, dynamics of collaboration, and leadership and management. So, 2-part question here. First off, what interested you about social work just as a whole, and how much does your role lend to learning and practicing in these specific areas that I've identified?
Yeah, well, I finished a BA, a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, and then I wasn't quite what I wanted to do, so then I finished a BA in Psychology, and I was still searching for my passion. And then I worked with some therapists who were social workers, and they were my inspiration. I wanted to be working more like them, so I found social work, and I completed all my social work degrees. Since then, I've had lots of different work opportunities in social work. For example, I've been able to work as a community developer. I've been able to improve processes and policy for our provincial children's services. I've had a family therapy practice. I've been in health and other child and family positions. And actually in my social work degrees, I've learned perspectives and strategies and skills that provide a perfect foundation for my current leadership role.
Amazing. So safe to say, and if you want to humble brag a little bit, you've probably had a pretty big impact in the social work area, especially at a local level. Is that fair to say?
That's one of the things about social work, is that you can be proud of your contributions, and I do have a pride related to how I've contributed to society through my work as a social worker. Yeah.
Awesome. So getting into some of the admission stuff, first things first, because I know some of the students I work with and other recruiters that they work with, there's sometimes a misconception about how to enter the Faculty of Social Work, specifically, or not specifically the University of Calgary, but other universities as well. So sticking with the U of C, for future applicants, can a high school student directly apply into the Faculty of Social Work?
No, we require that you take 2 years of post-secondary courses before being admitted to the Bachelor of Social Work. You need a university GPA of 3.0 as the minimum, although not all is GPA, although GPA certainly does improve your chance of getting into social work. You need to have 19 half-course equivalents and Social Work 201. Now, Social Work 201 is a great course for anybody in their university degree. It's open to all. It's an online course, so it can be fit into your other programs really quite easily. So that's something to consider while you're taking your courses at the University of Calgary, is to enroll in Social Work 201 as one of your electives. Other ways that students can improve their chances of getting admission is through volunteering in a social service organization, gathering some work experience in the helping professions. We might ask also for a statement in your application that can identify a clear idea of why you might feel that you're called to social work as a way to contribute to current issues and to society. So things to be thinking about as you're putting together your application for the University of Calgary, thinking about around social work as well down the road. If you already hold a degree, you can enter into social work right away, or if you have 2 years of university coursework, and then you can apply to the social work program.
Awesome. So sticking with those 19 half-course equivalents and just the undergraduate route initially, do you see, or have you seen in your experience, a common route in terms of specific courses that students can take, or not students can take, that students do take? Or is it kind of just a mixed bag of those half-course equivalents and then that 201 course for social work, and then they're good to go?
Yeah, they're good to go. Students can take any courses that transfer. So we have students enter from science or arts or other programs. We do require that they take our online Social Work 201, which I would be teaching maybe in this winter, as that would be one of the courses in the first 2 years before you get into the BSW, the Bachelor of Social Work.
Good for students that are entering social work. They'll essentially have 2 years of university experience under their belt. Social Work 201, you mentioned it's an online course. You also mentioned you may be teaching it, which is awesome. What can students kind of expect from that course, and how would you say it helps them with the transition into the faculty?
Social Work 201 provides a broad overview of the social work profession, of working with groups, working with individuals, communities, thinking about diversity, equality, communication, anti-racism, how we can think reflectively and critically. Compared to typical courses, you'll find social work courses are much more focused in on the skills and perspectives for leading positive change and making an important difference in the world. So they're quite enjoyable.
Just wanted to pause quickly to remind you about our open house event that is coming up on October 5th right here on the main campus. The day features a faculty fair, discovery sessions, on-site application assistance, and rolling campus tours so you can learn more about your next steps. Head over to choose.ucalgary.ca to register for open house today. Big part of the university experience for a lot of students can be the addition of co-curriculars, or something to add to their resume in terms of experience and whatnot. And oftentimes students do that in the form of a co-op or an internship. And so I was curious, for the Faculty of Social Work students, what are available or what is available to them in that regard in terms of co-ops and internships?
Yeah, now that's one of the cornerstones of our programs, is that you are required to take a field education or practicum experience of at least 300, 400 hours. There's hundreds of agencies that students can connect with for practice learning, and it's a huge part of the program. Often students are hired into their practicum organizations.
Awesome. So something not only they can use for their own personal profile, but many students can expect potential employment after they complete their 2 years in the faculty, which is great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. As you know very well, Shirley, the University of Calgary does have a very high reputation in terms of intensive research. And I think it's safe to say the co-op and internship opportunities really lend to those research opportunities that are available. So is that fair to say that some of these co-ops and internships really touch on research-specific opportunities?
Yes, and we're very proud that many of the best social work researchers in the world are in our University of Calgary Faculty of Social Work. Students can do practica or work assisting research programs on a range of areas. We have experts in domestic violence, eating disorders, homelessness, climate change, children's mental health, seniors and caregiving, so many timely topics.
So looking quickly, because you touched on it as part of the admission process, those 19 half-course equivalents, the Social Work 201 course. We also mentioned briefly about volunteer experience. So I just wanted to ask you what that looks like in terms of improving a student's admission to the Faculty of Social Work. Obviously, they need to have those specific course requirements and a minimum transfer GPA. Is there any maybe tips or tricks a student could use in terms of getting that specific volunteer experience that they would need?
Yeah, I would recommend that a student builds their resume, puts in several hundred hours in a social service organization of any kind, volunteering, employment in areas dealing with people. Human service organizations is really helpful. We do count through your resume to make sure that you have a substantial number of hours that is full-time or part-time. It all adds up in terms of the hours. That's why we look at the hours rather than full-time or part-time. Just to ensure that students have experience that they can then build on when they're learning about social work in their courses.
Just wanted to get your impression of the industry of social work in terms of what kind of changes have you seen in the industry, and additionally, how competitive has the Faculty of Social Work gotten over the last few years, just in terms of students being interested in the field?
I think our Faculty of Social Work has really kept up with cutting-edge changes in the profession. Social work is one of the fastest growing and most impactful professions right now in the world. We've got a lot more of the tech sector, automation, those kinds of jobs that are then requiring much more of a human support and human touch. And so social work has really blossomed in the last decade, I would say, just to support society, community building, thinking about how we can focus on mental health and supporting people in their employment, supporting people to be able to thrive in society. So social work is a profession that is blossoming, and I think our faculty has embraced and tackled the important issues of today.
So last question, again, Ellen, I know you're very busy, so I appreciate you coming in today and taking the time to chat with me. If you had to convince a student who was on the fence of choosing the U of C in a different institution to enter the social work education side of things, what would you say to them to convince them to choose the University of Calgary?
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you. Well, I'd like you to consider that employment after a social work degree at the University of Calgary Faculty of Social Work is close to 100%, in the 90% range. So you have a very good chance of employment after your degree. We're the largest school of social work in Canada, and we're consistently ranked among the top research social work schools in the world. I hope that you would consider joining in to be part of the world's fastest growing and most impactful professions. And if you're looking for a meaningful and a fulfilling career, social work could be the faculty just for you.
Awesome. Well, Ellen, again, thank you so much for your time, and especially your insights into the Faculty of Social Work and everything U of C. So thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
That takes us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and as always, keep an eye out for any upcoming episodes. If there's anything that you would like to be talked about on this podcast, let me know. My email can be found in the description below. If you're looking to learn more information about the Faculty of Social Work, you can check out their Twitter page or their website, and that info is in the description below as well. Today's music was performed and arranged by Alvin Fenner. Once again, thank you very much, Alvin, also known as Neat Beats. My name is Max Sturley, and I'll see you next time.